They're a bit of a pain to put on, but you know, maybe it takes 5 minutes out of your trip in to put these on. But that 5 minutes might be the best 5 minutes you ever spent. Hey, it's Greg here with Outdoors on the Cheap, and out in the woods going down a logging road, and the road's pretty bad. We got some rain the other day, and you know, the road's pretty soft and muddy. And I thought I'd just share with you a little trick I've learned the hard way over the years to avoid having to spend a lot of money to get towed out of a bad spot. So this is a Honda Pilot SUV. It's got pretty good options for being off-road. It doesn't have the clearance, but it's got you know, all-wheel drive, and you can even lock up the differential for you know, if you're in a tough situation. But it doesn't got very good clearance, and I've got all-season tires on it because they just ride a lot smoother. I like the way they feel on the road. Also, you know, all-terrain tires are very expensive. So a solution for situations like this, with a previous vehicle, I sort of came to this conclusion. For about, I don't know, anywhere from 80 to 150 bucks or more, you can get a set of tire chains, right? Like these. Right, I think these were about $160, and of course you have to get ones that fit your vehicle, and they're a bit of a pain to put on, but you know, maybe it takes 5 minutes out of your trip in to put these on. But that 5 minutes might be the best 5 minutes you ever spent. Right, because it's 5 minutes of you know, that old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Well, this is 5 minutes of prevention that I mean, the difference in a vehicle with all-season tires and all-season tires with chains on them, I mean, it's night and day. I mean, you're turning your all-season tire into a tire that actually performs better than all-terrain. Like with these chains on it, these things are just great, right? And most of these, you don't really have to get the chains on perfectly. They sort of self-adjust as the vehicle's driving. These ones are like this sort of auto adjust as things happen, and you drive them a little bit, you check them out, make sure everything's working okay. If you've got a rear-wheel drive only vehicle, you have to put these on the real wheels, but this vehicle sort of defaults to front-wheel drive, so everything I've read suggests that you put them on the front tires, right? So that's what I've done. I've gotten a bit muddy and a bit dirty setting that up, but road ready to go here, and you can see that this road is not the best, and I sort of have to pick a path through this thing because I do not have the clearance. I think this vehicle might have just over 8 inches of clearance. It's not an ideal all-terrain vehicle, and a lot of this road is just fine, but there's some really bad muddy soft spots, and this road takes a beating in November and deer season. A lot of people like to, well, not a lot of people, but some people like to hunt out here, and they drive on the road when it's really soft, and they just tear it up. They go right, like I tend to go around the ruts, they go right into the ruts. And I know there's people that say, just get an ATV, but that gets expensive. This is a used vehicle. I got it for $4,000. I'd be lucky to find a reliable ATV for $4,000. And I'm not, you know, I'm not some sort of mechanical wizard for working on this stuff. You come back in the woods, you don't want, you want your, whatever you're driving to be reliable. So, you know, you think of an ATV. You're buying an ATV, it's not just the cost of the ATV, it's the cost of the ATV, the trailer hitch, the trailer, right? You got to license the ATV. Where I live, you got to take a course and get a license to, basically to drive the thing on trails. I mean, it's not as simple as getting an ATV and driving it. There's a whole lot of other things that need to happen. You need a place to store it, right? You can get the space in your garage, you got to build a bigger garage. An ATV can get very expensive depending on your situation. So for me, the situation is get a $150 pair of chains and stick them on your tires. I got another solution I'm going to share with you a little bit later, further down the road, so stay with me. All right, so here we are, and this is about as far as I can take the old Honda Pilot. There's a really bad spot in the road there. There's basically a rut that is probably 12 inches deep, and there's no shoulder on either side. It looks like there is, but there isn't. There's no shoulder to put my wheels up on to get around the rut. You basically have to go in and through the rut, and I don't have the clearance for it. I will foul out, bottom out, and maybe make it through, maybe not. I don't want to take the risk. I've got about 1 kilometer more to go this way to where I want to go, and it's just not worth risking getting stuck because it's unbelievably expensive. A tow truck won't come back here, right? We're in the middle of nowhere down a logging road that is not maintained. You'd have to pay a farmer with a tractor a lot of money to come out here, a lot of money. Or, you know, a buddy who's up for you. Ideally, you got a buddy with a really good four-wheel drive vehicle who's fearless and up for anything. And I have a friend like that, but he might not be available today. I might have to leave this vehicle here and walk my way out and call my wife to pick me up, and I'm an hour from the house, so I'll never hear the end of that. So it's better just to walk this way for about 15 minutes, give or take, right? That's the easier way. So anyway, here's what I got. This is what they call a game cart, right? They're strangely enough, I mean, there's a lot of different models. This one was about 150 bucks. I wish the wheels were a bit bigger, but they're big enough. The bigger the wheel, the easier it is to pull. Bicycle wheels would be ideal. Anyway, it's a game cart. And so you can put your backpack on there. Now, I don't really need this to carry this backpack today. I haven't got a whole lot of weight in here, maybe 30 pounds. So it's totally doable for me to carry that. I'm not that old and that out of shape. And I'm testing this out for deer season because I do hunt deer. And there's a place down here I like to hunt. But it's, you know, the place I'm actually going to be hunting is a good 5 kilometers from the highway. And it's basically 5 kilometers of this crappy road. And the spot from where I'm standing here, it's a good 2 kilometers, right? I've probably made it in about 3K, and I've got 2 more to go to this great, ideal spot. If I got enough memory left on my battery, I'll take you to the spot and show you where I got my deer last year, just so you can, you know, for those of you that are new to hunting, and get a sense of where to set up a good blind to get deer. But anyway, that's another topic. Suffice it to say, if I do get a deer this year, I'm going to have to drag it from 2 kilometers down there to here. Or maybe even further, because there were some really bad spots on this road. I mean, really bad, especially after a rain, right? This is the only weekend I had to go. Normally I like to wait a week after we had a really hard rain the other day, and it's really frigged up the path here. But anyway, this was the day I had to do this, to get back here and just have a look around and get organized for deer season. So anyway, this here thing, I thought I'd bring I got a sort of place I like to camp down here. I'm going to go here for overnight and just, you know, sleep under the stars and that sort of thing. But I thought I'd try this thing out. And what I did was I just had some PVC. This will not work for deer season because it's white, and you don't want to have anything white anywhere near your body during white-tailed deer season, because you never know when some drug old rummy sitting in a deer blind is going to blast you. And there's people that get shot every year because they've got white gloves or something like that. Anyway, it's deer season is not even close to begun yet, as far as I know. This is just a proof of concept, and this is a bit, you know, I think something stiffer is probably in order. I have to figure out exactly what the ideal situation is. But anyway, I'm going to take this, you know, a kilometer down the road here, and then I'll come back to you and give you my impressions of how easy it is to pull. Certainly, I mean, carrying any weight, right? I mean, I can walk comfortably with 30-40 pounds on my back. 60 pounds, honestly, I don't like the way it feels, and as you go up there in weight, it's very, very uncomfortable. I've got sort of shoulder and back problems that have plagued me for years, and that's part of how I got into bushcraft, is, you know, because I don't need to bring as much, right? Learning how to, you know, they say, the Boris Kohensky would always say, the more you know, the less you carry. But anyway, I know, like with a wheelbarrow, I can move hundreds of pounds that I couldn't, you know, I can move weights around with a wheelbarrow that I could never carry. And the same would be the case for this, right? There's weights that, you know, if it's uncomfortable to carry 60 pounds, then it's going to be very comfortable to just tow it along like this, possibly even easier than pulling stuff on a sled, depending on the sledding conditions. And certainly bringing out a deer that's, you know, in excess of 100 pounds, basically like a man, right? This will make a huge difference, because last year I got my deer way the heck down there, and I hurt my back getting it, just getting it to the logging road. I felt something pop in my back, and I was thinking about my next move, and a couple guys showed up in a huge truck, and they basically stuck it on the tailgate and brought it here for me to take home, which was really nice. And I never see anybody out here, so I mean, what are the chances of that? It was very serendipitous. Anyway, I'm going to do some hiking, and I'll come back and see you then. Cheers. You know, I can't believe the state of these logging roads. In 2018, which wasn't so long ago, I was able to drive. I could get to this spot. I could get over there, right? But I was able to get past this and all this other stuff. It's basically a river now, practically, right? But I could get here in my Kia Forte, a little, compact car, right? Little cheap car, with all-season tires, right? Regular tires, Kia Forte, just a little car, right? Front-wheel drive. I could get all the way through all of this. It just wasn't this bad. It's just a combination of people driving through here when it's soft, in big, heavy vehicles that just create these enormous ruts and make it, well, just impassable, right? And the government used to maintain these roads. This is what they call crown land. It gets logged, but no one can really own it, right? It's owned by, I guess, the Queen of England, technically, or the government. I can't remember how it works, but anyway, it's called crown land because at some level it's got a connection to the Queen, to the crown. So they used to, I don't know, every 7 years or every 10 years, there's some increment like that, they used to grade these roads, right? And now they don't do it anymore. If a logging company leases the stumpage and they want to make the road better, they can. So that's that's what happened. So us outdoors people were sort of left to our own devices. And yeah, the ATV is one solution, but this $150 thing, it's okay. You know, I think I need to look into it a little bit more. I need to study how horses are attached to carts. You know, this way of moving stuff around, you went back 100 years ago. If you look at footage from World War I of people being displaced from their homes and having to move from one place to another, you'll see them using carts, right? Because you can just carry a lot on a cart. But over this sort of rough terrain, it's sort of, when I'm pulling it, I can feel it going back and forward, sort of towards me and away from me, sort of thing. And it's uncomfortable, and I can see over a long distance, especially with added weight, it might have a negative effect on your back. But one thing I have figured out is it doesn't make any sense. I mean, so if you're going through a tough spot and you need to negotiate and steer, you can just pull it with one hand. But over a long distance, that basically puts a twisting strain on your back. And if you've got any sort of history with back problems, you know that sustained repetitive twisting, like sweeping, raking, shoveling, all that sort of stuff, can really irritate a chronic back problem, right? So on the good side, this is very easy to move around. Even through all this rough terrain, it's been okay. It's got just enough clearance to handle these ruts. You know, I've been trying to keep it out of the ruts, but when it goes in, my backpack isn't getting swamped. But I think, you know, and I'm fine with the way it works. But certainly this PVC is a bit flimsy. I think something stiffer would be better, possibly longer. And I don't know if this hoop idea was the best of in the world. I tried putting it behind my back and just holding on to it, and then I found I'm not walking in a natural way. And I tried sort of stepping into it and having this in front of my belly, in front of my waist, you know, sort of in front of my chest, different height sort of thing. At the belt line seems to be the best, but if it's right against the belt, it's actually weird because it's going like this back and forth. And I think it's because of this thing rocking, because I use this flexible material. So I'm gonna have to do a little studying of how they attach horses to carts, because that's where all the, you know, if you want to see, I'm basically turning myself into a horse. And so if you want to know how to rig that all up, I think maybe even a purpose-built, like if you get an old pack frame perhaps, and having a pack frame rigged up so you can strap it onto your body and have that pack frame sort of hooked up to this. So you're kind of like a horse, right? You know, you think about a horse, it's got like all this leather and tackle and stuff attached to the horse, and then that attaches to the cart. I think that's the way to go. So the next time I'm out here, I thought I'd just try this out as a proof of concept before I actually have got, you know, a deer or something really heavy on it. Certainly this setup is not going to work for anything, you know, anything black diamond, anything hardcore. Need to gear this up a little bit, but I needed to get out here and try it just to see. And this is a good little weekend to get away and do it. Anyway, I think that's about it for this little segment. I just thought I'd share that with you. A way to move things around in an off-road setting without breaking the bank. Right, I said when I started this channel I would do stuff that I wish I'd known 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that sort of thing, right? I think back 20 years ago, I don't even think I owned a house then. All I had was a $26,000 worth of student debt and you know, some very basic things, right? I've got a home now, and you know, things have gone pretty good for me over the long run. You know, part of that was just being frugal all the way along and not spending money on ATVs and Argos and all that sort of. As cool as those things are, they cost money. And for me, the priority was get out of student debt, pay off the mortgage, then start thinking about toys, right? I can buy toys now, but it's, you know, that sort of frugality gets kind of hardwired. I actually fully intended last week to buy kind of off-road, like an off-road motorbike that also looks like an ATV. For those of you who know what a Rokon is, I've been thinking about getting something like that. But then again, if I get a Rokon, I need a trailer, I need a trailer hitch, I need all this other stuff, right? So yeah, I just decided to spend 150 bucks on this, put some tire chains on my Honda Pilot, and try a season like that. That's basically a $300 put into it. I can always sell the stuff off on Kijiji for, you know, 75% of what I bought it for. So it's really not that, you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Let's see how my body stands up to getting out into these remote places using stuff like this. If I'm finding it too hard, you know, I'll spend the money on the fun toy. Hope you found that interesting. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. And until next time, enjoy the outdoors on the cheap. Thanks for watching.